Muito boa tarde, boa noite, boa madrugada, mundo, porque essa é assim São Paulo, mas a gente fala daqui para o planeta todo, de São Paulo, diretamente do terraço maravilhoso do Blue Note, São Paulo, e estamos falando com o mundo todo. Você que é esperto e esperta, tá super ligado em todos os conteúdos que a Assim está criando, e olha que não são poucos. E hoje a minha missão é fazer uma entrevista com uma figura super importante dentro do cenário musical do Canadá, que é a Tina Wroblewski, e é com ela que a gente vai falar agora. A gente começa falando sobre um evento muito legal que tem a intenção de divulgar a música canadense, que é o Global Toronto. Eu vou fazer as perguntas em inglês, mas se você não fala inglês, fica tranquilo que as legendas estarão aí. Tina, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us. My first question, of course, has to do with Global Toronto, which is an event that is 2 years old, I'm afraid, if I'm not wrong. So let me know, what is your role in Global Toronto, and let us all know, what is it doing for Canadian music?
Okay, so Global Toronto is a music conference that we had this year. It was supposed to be in May physically, but unfortunately we have to postpone it, and we end up having it in July virtually. My role at Global Toronto is I'm a regional consultant, an international and regional consultant, and what I do is technically study those programmers that can come to our market to visualize what we have, to come together. Our goal is to work in diversity, inclusion, BIPOC, for those who don't understand, which is Black communities, Indigenous communities, LGBTQ communities, in the music and the arts, of course, most likely music business. We worked this year looking into including many countries and many regions that were never invited for, let's say, to our market before. We are somewhat turned out to be a little bit of a positive activism. We're activists for, let's say, because we want our voices to be heard. We want to speak about our rights. We want diversity, but we want it to be, we want to be inclusive with everybody, with every language. So it turned out to be that way. It wasn't planned, but I guess it was a huge plus for us because it also gave us doors to open from other programmers and other markets that now are interested in our work here.
Amazing. And how is Canadian musicians and producers and people, you know, that work with festivals and events, how are they doing? Can you share with us? It's an interesting information because we're in Brazil are not doing so fine. The government is, well, the federal government is, of course, not doing much. Because it's their position and, you know, their beliefs. Locally, there's some effort to help, you know, people who work in the music, in the entertainment industry as a whole. But let us know how things are going in Canada, please.
Well, I will say that we're all going through the same rough situations in every country. I will say that we're in the same sea in a different boat, for, let's say. In Canada, there are festivals that had so far virtual festivals, and what they're doing is they're trying to work with local artists. One of them is Sunfest. It was actually the first festival that happened virtually this year. They were supposed to be live in July, but it's still in July virtually, and they had international artists, which was great. They also have, there was another festival that happened not too long ago, last month. It was Nuit d'Afrique, and it was also virtually, which is great. The markets keep happening. Global Toronto, of course, happened virtually. There is Indie Week that has been actually very active with most likely workshops and stuff like that, or panels. And I think that right now what we're doing here is trying to look for alliances and work together. There is also another festival coming up soon in November, at the end of November, called Mixto Party, which is a nice festival. It's going to be virtually as well. People are trying to continue what's happening because we wouldn't want to leave the art behind. We have to continue regardless. So that's what we're working on right now.
That's really fine. That's amazing. I would like to know a little bit more how the government is taking care of the population in terms of help, you know, in terms of putting something in people's table, like despite if they have a festival or if they run a festival, it can get, like, for example, funds from companies and brands, etc. How is the government looking at people that work with entertainment in Canada?
There is a system, there is grants. So let's say becas in Espanol, but there are grants that you have to apply to see if you can fit into those possibilities. They still open. You just have to really, I guess, emphasize in what you're doing and explain it. The government here has a subsidy that they've been giving to all the citizens, which is a subsidy to live, and it's been going on for the entire year. As for right now, it's difficult for everybody, but we can say that we do had some sort of help from the government that calls CERB for the artists. Artists can apply for it. Anybody that is a citizen can apply for it. Venues and stuff like that also have a subsidy. I'm not too sure exactly that I can give you a number because I don't have it, because everything is different and I don't want to give you false information, but we do have some sort of help here for sure economically compared to other countries.
Amazing. Well, you're doing really well politically speaking, right? I mean, I think you guys must be pleased.
I will say I am grateful for what I am right now, because this is my home. Like, I was actually born in Colombia, and I don't think the situation there is great right now. And here we're trying. And I think we're trying our best, and I'm grateful to be in this country for sure because of the help we get economically and for other things and mindsets about political views and inclusion and all that kind of stuff. So, yes.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Parabéns, as we in Portuguese. Felicitaciones.
Gracias. Thank you.
I would like to bring the subject of mental health. Is it something that is concerned in Global Toronto, for example, in your work, in your everyday work? Because music is one of the best medicines that I know of to keep people sane. So I'd like you to speak a little bit about this.
I think mental health right now is a big issue for everybody and for every country. I think we're not focusing on that as much as we should, because besides COVID, that of course is a virus and we know that we're living in a pandemic, mental health is something that has always existed, and right now it's been a lot more deeper, and I am sure that has affected everybody. For all of us in different stages, I will say there is help here for sure. Like, I don't know if I can't say if it's from other countries, but yes, there is helplines here, there are web pages, there are groups and stuff like that to help with mental health. As for us for work, we are very blessed to say that we work with music, because music has always a positive message to give us. And I suppose that when we're busy, even with it, if it is just a virtual event, we are producing something and we're giving a message to the public that it helps us. So I think that maybe mental health in our case at Global Toronto has been evolving and bringing people in as inclusion and diversity was also positive, because people can speak their minds and say how they feel and how they felt in the past and what can be changed.
Perfect. Tina, as a producer and as a booker, what is your expectation for 2021?
For 2021, we know that everything has been postponed from 2020, but I invite everybody that work in this business to not stop. We have to continue regardless if it's going to be in real life or it's going to be virtual, because I don't think virtual is going anywhere. It's going to be a hybrid work from both sides. It's going to be, like I said in the past, virtually and presence. And we have to continue. We have to, like I say, make alliances to develop work. We have to emphasize and work with new music, with the artists, new records, new songs, new singles, to put them out there just so they are not forgotten. You know what I mean? And yes, you must know that virtual festivals do pay. So I want those people who think that people are playing for free. It's not true. Maybe they are in some cases. I don't know that, but I know for a fact that there are places who do want to work within the arts. They still want to support the musicians. And so to continue, you just still have to research, you still have to communicate, you still have to hustle to get work, because unfortunately it's going through hard times right now, but we must continue.
Amazing. And what is the main legacy for you, Tina, that Corona is going to leave?
Coronavirus is going to leave us right now. So if it's, I think this year has been very positive for me. Regardless of going through this virus and all these changes, it's bringing me closer to what I want to do in my life, which is, of course, work with music and work with the industry, as for, let's say, has opened many doors. And I also think it's been positive for the artists because they have more visibilization, so more people can see their work because it's virtual, that before they didn't have because they were not able to attend a festival, for, let's say. So I'm trying my best to be positive about that. I think it's just also given us opportunity to be closer to others, to other programmers, or find out about other conferences and stuff like that, to be not worried that we cannot reach these people, because now it's easier. You can just write, you can just ask questions, you can follow workshops, and I find that it's a positive thing, even though we're not able to feel ourselves physically.
I couldn't agree more. Now, if I were to come from a spaceship out of, Mars or something, and I would land in your living room, and you had like 5 minutes to show me some Canadian music, what would be the top 3 Canadian albums? I know it's a horrible question, but I mean, everybody wants to know, from your position, what would you present us from Sim São Paulo?
Oh my goodness. It's a difficult question to answer, and I'm going to tell you why. Because right now I'm not only working with Global Toronto, but I'm also very much into Indigenous communities and First Nations. So if I have to choose, it will be really hard for me to choose one, because there is so much talent here, so much diversity in Canada, that it will be difficult. But I am going to throw couple of them out there right now. I'm actually producing a concert for Papa Groove. There is a band from Quebec, from the French side of Canada, which I really love them. They're great, and they were actually one of our spotlight artists at GT20. I also have to mention another one that I produced last week. I'm gonna say Alkawa, because they have beautiful music, Egyptian, something different that maybe they have to present as Sim, it will be something new. And I am going to bring Shoshona, which is Digging Roots. It's an Indigenous band. She will also be a Sim Sao Paulo, and I'm going to bring this up because I think that we need to open stages and the concerts and the venues for equality, for First Nations to have the same opportunity as everybody else.
Yes, yes, and yes. Thank you so much for this interview. I had fun. Unfortunately, we only had 10, 15 minutes, but that's life, and that's digital life.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
And I hope you do great with Canadian music, because I love Canadian music, and I thank you so much for this.
Of course.
Galera, essa foi a nossa entrevista com a Tina. Você ficou aí com várias dicas legais sobre música canadense. Te vejo na Sim São Paulo.